Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and this is another podcast episode for my knitting podcast, Cast On. Hello and welcome. I hope you're all doing well. I asked you guys in my last video if you would like to see the projects that I'm working on, and a lot of you have said yes. So I guess that's the whole reason why I'm doing another podcast. I am very, very rusty, so excuse me if I say some things wrong or if I can't remember a lot of the things, because I did take a knitting break which was very long. It was, I think, 6 months or so, and a lot of the projects I have started before that. So yeah, I have finished one thing. It is not, like I said, my mojo has been very, very low, and it's not a huge thing, but it was nice to just finish something, and it's something that I have started and you've not seen before. So my one and only finished object is, well, from that break, is this Slipover. I forgot the name, I have to admit, but it is from November Knits, and it is a chunkier Slipover, and in her pictures she's got stripes in it. I'm gonna insert the picture and everything somewhere on the screen with the name. And this was quite a fun knit, to be honest. I made this in Weird Knitters Merifine in the colour Emerald. It is a very nice yarn to work with. I do think that it is felting a little bit because it's just like a very soft merino, which is a bit of a shame, but working with it was absolutely beautiful. I really, really enjoyed it, and because it's a chunkier yarn, it knitted very fast, which for me was a goal of mine at that time, to just finish something which wouldn't take a lot of time. Just so I would get some of the motivation back. So this is a very quick knit. You start with the back as with any Slipover. You knit the whole back as far as I'm aware, and then you start on the front. You have these really nice increases along here, the neck, and you have a square-ish neckline down here. And yeah, I was a bit short on yarn and I was a bit worried about that, so I made it shorter than the pattern recommended, especially the ribbing at the bottom, because at the bottom there's this huge ribbing section, but I didn't like the look of it, so I just shortened that. And I do have a full ball of yarn left. I used, I think, 4 balls in total or something. And the goal was actually to just use up all of this yarn, because I had it in my stash for such a long time and I didn't know what to make with it, because of the quantity, because it was never enough for a sweater, but I didn't want to make a t-shirt. Anyways, so I finished this Slipover and I'm very happy with it. I think the colour suits me very well, and the only complaint, or not complaint, but the only thing that I would say with the Slipover, it is very up to your neck. So when you wear it, it is very close and high on your neck. So if you have sensitive skin around here, this might not be the best pattern for you. And also the width of the whole Slipover, if I just put this here, it is a little bit narrower than what I wanted. So you have a lot of, it's very deep. Here's my armpit. It is very deep, and it is a lot narrower than what I would have liked for my shoulders and my other Slipover. But apart from that, those are just 2 things that I have noticed. The pattern was very straightforward, not a lot of, nothing to complain about. And yeah, I'm happy to have this in my knitwear collection. Right, let's put this here. Today I am drinking a, was it vanilla and strawberry or raspberry tea, I think. Yes. It's all nice and cozy. Right. I just mentioned that that is the only thing that I have finished, which is actually a lie. I have finished 2 or 3 other things, but those are Christmas presents. So the first thing, and it's actually just like a double pack thing, I made these little fish. I can't for the life of me remember the pattern because it's such a difficult name for me to remember. But this fish has been very popular. She's got different sizes for this, and I just need to weave through this string, so it's like a little pouch, and it's meant for some kind of like lip gloss, some other trinkets you can put inside. And I made this with some leftover yarn just from my scrap stash, with some drops kid silk mohair in this really light blue, and the other yarn was the Sockengarn, I think it's the Merifine, if I remember correctly. But this is a lot of fun, and it is quick-ish. I wouldn't say it's very quick for what it is. So what you do is you knit the 2 sides separately. So you do have to purl for this section, etc. And you have a chart for the fin. And when you finish those, you crochet the edges together, which is a little bit fiddly. I mean, I did crochet before I knitted, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I realized after, I don't know, the first half, I don't have to be exact. I don't have to really use every single stitch and crochet in it. I can like leave one out and space them out a little bit better, just so that the size would be the same and it's not wonky. And yeah, the only thing that's left to do is to put a button for the eye. I have got some different like small buttons here. I do want to have the same button on each side, so that's what I'm struggling with. I have like leftover buttons from my grandma and I just need to find a pair because I would like to have the same one on each side. But that is the first little fish that I made, and yesterday I just finished the second one. Here it is. This is a lot bigger. This is also knit on a larger needle size. This is made with 3.5mm needles, whereas this one is made with 3mm needles. It's still a bit wet as well because I only washed it yesterday and laid it out in the evening. But yeah, it is, as you can see, a lot bigger. And I did also make the top a little bit longer here, this section, and I think the pearl bumps as well, the garter stitch section, because I wanted it to be bigger, but I didn't expect it to be this big. But anyway, it's fine because those 2 are gifts anyways. I will give them to my brother and his girlfriend, and I thought it would be nice to first of all have a different color, and for my brothers to be a little bit bigger because he is the taller one out of the 2. So yeah, again, I need to put on the eye, and then hopefully they are finished and they will like them. This yarn is a Sockengarn Smart. It is a superwash merino wool as far as I know, in the color 6026. It's just a really vibrant blue, and actually it doesn't say if it's superwash or not. I don't know. I made a t-shirt out of this, and this is also some leftover yarn because I don't know what to do with it. I don't wear the t-shirt. I don't really enjoy working with this yarn either, just because it's very springy and it's not too pleasant for me to have on my skin. So that is the reason why I'm also selling a few of my yarn bits and bobs, but I will come to that later. So those are my other two finished objects, my little fishies. I think they're very cute. I highly recommend the pattern. I think it's been in several videos, and over the years it has also been like a nice Christmas present, last minute Christmas present, because it is small and fast. And the pattern again is very straightforward. There are 2 different sizes in it that you can make, so 2 different lengths. And yeah, I had a lot of fun making these, and I would definitely make some more. The other thing that is kind of finished are some slippers. Like I said, I'm a bit on a stash busting mission because I have so much yarn and it's kind of stressing me out now, and I want to just get a lot of chunky projects done so the yarn is used up a lot faster, but at the same time make something that is also useful for me or for others to gift as like Christmas presents, etc. And I want to especially get rid of some yarn that I've had in my stash for a really long time, that I changed my mind with what the project would actually be, etc. And it's just like sitting in there, not having a dedicated project, etc. So I made these slippers. They are from Sockengarn. It's a free pattern you can get in English as well. And it's called something like Doble slipper or something along those lines. This is what I have. So this is how you knit them. You start here, this is the cast on edge, and you first knit just a tube, and then you split it in half. You have a few decreases along here, you cast on some new stitches, and then you knit for a really long time again for the tube, and then you rapidly decrease up here, and then you have like the crown bit, which is the front of the toe. So that is how you make them. Obviously I've got 2. The only thing that is left to do is I need to stitch them up. I believe you sew it together. I've not read this far in the pattern, if I'm honest. And then you felt it. You put it in the washing machine and you felt it, and for the best fit, from what I've heard, is that you take them out when they're still a little bit wet, put a plastic bag over your foot, and then you wear them for like, I don't know, half an hour or something, just so the slipper really molds to your foot. So that is what I'm going to do. And I've used Drops Alaska in the color Toffee. I had this yarn in my stash. I wanted to make a colourwork sweater, but then just never got round to it. So I thought this is actually a nice colour, and I've got exactly 5 balls of this. I think 5 or 6, something like that. And for the size that I made, which is 38 to 39 European sizes, you needed 4 balls. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I need to, like I said, kind of finish it up. And because I like this pattern so much, and because I am a little bit in a knitting frenzy for Christmas, I started a new pair yesterday for a friend of mine. I hope I can finish it before Tuesday. I should be able to do it because it is a chunky yarn, and it doesn't take that long. For me, it's just a little bit tedious because it's the same thing over and over again. So you knit, for example, these things for the foot length. You knit 4 of those in total, and I don't like repetitive things. So I had to put it down. I had to start with the second slipper yesterday, and I'm just gonna get those because they are on the sofa and I forgot to bring them. Hang on. Right. So yesterday evening I started, or like yesterday afternoon actually, I started the second pair of these. This is what I have so far. I'm using Drops Alaska once again in the color 63. It's a really nice light grey. I have a lot of this yarn because, like I said, I originally wanted to make a sweater with it. This is the first slipper. I'm making the largest size, which is 44, I think, to 45 or something. I can't remember. It's the largest size that there is available. I'm almost done with the foot here, and I can start decreasing very soon. And then I've got to do the second one. And because I'm working in the round on rather small needles, it is starting to hurt my hands. So I thought I would start with the second foot as well, just to switch it up a bit and to give my hands a rest, but still being productive. So this is the second one that I started yesterday as a little in between, I guess. So yeah, those are my slippers, the slipper production going on. They're a lot of fun. I don't know about the end result yet because I actually wanted to finish mine first before I started the grey ones. But then time just flew and I decided to just start casting them on, and if they really don't like fit or if there's a problem with it, I would just keep them. And if they turn out really well, which I'm hoping, I will definitely make some more because I do need slippers for my guests because my floors are very, very cold in the kitchen. I've also got tiles, so I don't want my guests to have cold feet. So I can make more of them instead of buying them because clearly I do have the yarn. Right, those are my slippers, which are like the first, which is the first whip that I have going on, my first active whip, should I say. Then I started some socks. Of course, it's Christmas time and I feel like making loads of socks. So I have 2 going on at the moment, but I completely lost motivation for both of them, which is not ideal because one of them my brother has requested for a friend of his. So he asked me in October if I could make him a pair of socks for this friend, and I said yes, and they're still not done. I've not even finished the first one. So let me show you them first. This is where I'm at. I'm not too far off from the first sock being finished. I already did it's just a plain old vanilla sock. Nothing special. I just realized though I've not, I can't remember how many stitches I cast on, so I have to count. Oh dear. Like I said, I started these in October. And when I was going to work by train because I didn't have my car, I could work on socks very easily because most of the times I had to sit on the floor and the journey would be like a 45-minute ride. So I did have a lot of knitting time in that regard. But because I'm now driving by car again, I don't have that time anymore, and I don't want to work on something super fiddly when I get home. So that's why they are like in the state they're in. Plain old vanilla sock with a slip stitch heel, and I've already finished the gusset. I just have to knit many rounds for the foot, and then I can do the toe. Like I said, this is the first sock. I'm using this yarn. It's the Schachenmayer Regia. Mountains and Fjords is the colorway. I did not buy this yarn myself. The intention was, so 2 years ago when I think 2 years ago, yeah. I started knitting 3 years ago now, with this December, and 2 years ago my mum made me some socks because she knew I was knitting, and she just wanted to knit me a pair of socks because my grandma at that time also was into knitting socks. Anyway, it's a long story. So this is leftover yarn. My mum made me socks in this exact colour, and she bought 2 balls of this because she thought she wouldn't have enough. Now, I know that for a pair of socks you only need 1 ball, but she didn't know that at the time because she's not a knitter. Anyways, the whole point that I'm telling you this is that I have a whole ball left over, and what I wanted to do with this is I wanted to make my mum a pair in this yarn so we would match, and I could like give her back some of the money in a sense because she paid for this, and I wanted to give her back like the product of this. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I wanted to make her some socks. But when my brother asked if I could make a pair of socks for his friend, I thought I might as well just use this yarn, because first of all I know that I will get 2 pairs out of this, and second of all I didn't want to just buy new yarn for someone I didn't even know. I wanted to use something that was in my stash. Very long-winded explanation, I'm very sorry. That is the first sock. I am still working on it. He did say no stress, whenever it's done, but I do feel very, very bad and guilty that they're still not done, and he asked me in October and it's been 3 months. So that is the first sock, and then in the same period I started a second sock before my brother asked me to start this pair, and I decided to try a Socktube. I've made a couple of Socktubes but never finished them, and I really am intrigued by the idea that a Socktube would be a great way to just use up all of the yarn and then divide it afterwards and put the heel and the ribbing in afterwards. So that is what I'm doing with this one. Is again just a normal vanilla sock tube. I decided on a 2x1 rib. I've never made ribbing or ribbed socks before, and I do think that they will help fit my foot a lot better, because all of the socks I've made before, they are way too big around the ankle and a bit too tight around, or like not too tight, but they're not long enough for my foot. So none of the socks that I've made were perfect, and I just thought maybe with a sock tube I can avoid these issues, especially a ribbed one. So that is what I'm doing with this one. The yarn I got for this yarn was a Christmas present last year from my brother and his girlfriend. It is an alpaca yarn, or it's got alpaca in it. It's very soft, but I can't remember the name. I think it was something like Lavendel, which means lavender in German, but for the life of me I can't remember, and I don't have the label anymore. I'd have to check my stash Excel spreadsheet because I have all of that information in there. I don't even know if I have this on Ravelry, like any of these projects. The slippers, definitely not, but yeah, it's just a fun little project. There's absolutely no rush for this. I don't enjoy a lot of ribbing, so this was fun to start with, and then the motivation got less and less the longer I continued on it, because it's also very thin yarn, but I still want to finish it someday. And then I have one more whip that I want to show you that is kind of active. I have loads more, especially a load, like a bucket load of summer knits, which I'm not going to pull out, and things still left over from last year. If you want to see those, I guess I can make another separate video of it, or just sprinkle it sometime along the way in some other videos, but I have one more that I have cast on in that time where I was gone, because I wanted, like I said, something a bit easier. And that is the sweater number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It is the light version, so it's the DK one. I have made this sweater before. If you've been around for a while, then you know I've made the sweater before with some Weir Knitters yarn, the very chunky yarn. And then it was one of the first sweaters that I made. I did not check gauge. I didn't really care about gauge at that point anyways, so it was way too big. It was really chunky, but I loved this sweater. The only problem that I had with it was that the yarn choice was not great, and I really did not like it because it started to felt and to be completely like, it would just look really scruffy. Like the stitch definition was just not there anymore. And I tried shaving it, I tried like pulling it apart, I tried everything to make it look neater, because you would also have like the little pieces, what are they called again? I can't remember. My brain is not braining today, I'm very sorry. But it would just look scruffy, so I eventually just donated it, gave it to charity. And hopefully someone else can either reuse the yarn or just leave it as it is. So that was that, and ever since then I really liked the design, and I wanted to make another one, but I'm not a huge fan, first of all, of making things twice. That is just a really strange thing for me, and I know it gives a lot of people the ick. But I'm sorry, that is just me. I like to make new things. That is why these slippers are just very tedious for me, because I've already done it. I want to move on. But I thought maybe something simple, something stockinette would get me out of the funk. So that is why I started this project. Here it is. This is the collar. Also with the light version, she has included short rows, which the original one, I don't know if she updated that pattern, but the original one didn't have short rows, which was also a problem with wear. So I'm very happy that there have been adjustments made, and this is what it looks like. The really nice increases along the shoulder. It looks fantastic. I'm almost done with the increases. I think I need only a few more rows as far as I know, but I've not touched this project in a few months now as well, so I can't really tell you that much about it. But I know that I am very close to sleeve separation, and the yarn that I'm using is Drops Daisy in the color 11. It's a very nice neutral beigey brown. It is a bit darker than the usual beige. I can't remember what the color is actually called, but yeah, I really like it. I think it will be great in my wardrobe, because ever since I got rid of the other sweater, I wanted something neutral. I wanted something that would just fit with anything. And that is why I chose this yarn, and I will come back to it once I finished the Christmas presents and maybe the socks as well. I really need to work on those socks. But yeah, I like to work on stockinette projects when I'm watching something, when I'm watching films or podcasts, etc. Because it's not, you don't have to think. And that is why I'm not working on it at the moment, because I have to find a pattern, I have to look up and count how many rows I've got and all of that, and I don't have the brain space for that at the moment. So that is my last whip that I'm showing you today. I don't have any yarn. Since I started running, all of my money went into running gear, and just running stuff, which makes me very happy because running has been a big passion of mine. Again, I can't do that at the moment. I have to see about that, but I will hopefully get back into it eventually. I registered for the marathon, which I was supposed to do in September this year. I registered it for next year, and hopefully by then everything will be back to normal for my health and I can start training for that, because I am really excited and I want to finish a marathon next year. So, like I said, no yarn acquisitions, but I am selling some yarn. I told you that before. I put some Ravelry stash things on there, which I am selling if anyone wants it. I guess I still need to take pictures. I've been really bad with pictures, etc. All of that stuff. But I thought I would just show you. I am in Austria, so if anyone is in Austria or maybe even Germany, you're happy to, I don't know, send me a message if you see anything that you would like to buy. If not, then that's fine as well. It's just been in my stash. That is the police. It's just been in my stash for a while, and so the first yarn that I'm selling is Sockengarn Smart. I told you before, I don't need it in my stash anymore. This is color 7243. It is a very sea greeny green. I don't know how well the camera picks it up. I have, I think, 6 of these. Yes, 6 balls of this. In one ball you get 100 meters, and it's for 3.5mm needle and 22 stitches per 10 centimeters. So this is the first one I'm selling, or just trying to get it out of my stash. The next one, or the next few actually, are just Drops Kid Silk. I bought a lot of Drops Kid Silk when I started knitting, and then I realized I don't like the feel of it anymore. I have very sensitive skin, and the sweaters would just itch me so much that I could not wear it. So I'm stuck with all of this kid silk that I don't know what to do with, apart from making like little fish and maybe in some slippers or whatever. So this is the first one. This is color 43. It's a very nice caramel color. I've got 5 of these. One of them is caked up, one of those donuts, but I've not used any of it. The next one is color 40. I've got, I think, 11 of this because I was gonna make the waffle sweater by Knitting for Olive, and that is a 3-strand silk sweater. So I bought all of this and I don't need it anymore. It's a very nice light blush pink. And then the last one is this really dark purple. This is number 5. It is very dark, and now the room also gets very dark. I have got 2 balls of this still with their band and in the donut shape. The other ones I have actually used. I did cake them up again, but just bear in mind that I've got 2 completely new ones, and then I think 3 or 4 caked up, which have been used and knotted back together to get the most length out of it, because that was actually in a sweater, and then I unraveled the sweater and just took back the yarn. So if any of you are interested in any of those yarns, send me a message on Ravelry or Instagram, however you like, and I'm sure we can find some solution about shipping and price, etc. To be honest, I just want to get rid of them. I just want to get it out of my stash because it is taking up some space, which I could definitely use better. And yes, that is all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely Christmas. I hope you have the best time with your family and friends, and I also wish you a happy new year. I don't think I will upload another video before the new year. If you're interested in a roundup of my 2024 knits, then also let me know in the comments, just so you know there's not gonna be too much in that video. There are only probably a couple of things that I have finished this year, but if you're interested, just let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment and a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.